Your daddy ruined the city. I was 13 when the woman yelled those words at me, a newly minted 8th grader at Jesuit High School where my father had been a star athlete a quarter of a century before. Earlier that day, Father Harry Thompson, the principal, a jovial man but quite the disciplinarian, summoned me to his office. "There's been a threat made against your life," he said gravely. Someone had called the switchboard with an alarming message. With a wary eye, Father Thompson escorted me across Bank Street to the gym, letting me go in for basketball practice early. It was 1973, and 3 years since my father, Moon Landrieu, was inaugurated as mayor of New Orleans. He had spent those years fulfilling campaign promises to give African Americans access to public contracts and jobs in city government, while prodding hotels and restaurants to do more than simply welcome black customers. That is, to hire black people above the level of dishwashers, maids, and bellhops. Segregation practices were eroding after federal court decisions, which angered and frightened many whites who feared the political power of newly registered African American voters in a city that was still, at that point, 65% white. New Orleans might have been among the crown jewels of the South, but with white flight to the suburbs, the demographics, power structures, and economy were changing quickly. Today's city is 60% black. My father was a pragmatist and a pro-business, New Deal-style Democrat. He was also morally grounded. The credo he stressed to my siblings and me was simple if profound: be honest and be fair. Growing up, I was vaguely aware of my dad taking heat over politics. But when he sat down for dinner with us, which he did nearly every night, he didn't mention rabble-rousers who jeered at city council meetings. We had free-flowing conversations, warm with humor, as he asked about us, our lives, and what we did that day. We often had guests in those years, too. But a backlash was building and about to catch me. That day at practice, I joked about the death threats as guys came into the locker room. Everybody thought it was cool. A few minutes later, one of my friends ran in and said, "Hey, there's some lady outside calling your name, cursing you, saying she wants to kill you." We did the only thing that teenage boys would do: go outside and see the threat. From the cement platform above the field house steps, I recognized her right away, an older woman who had a fiery presence in local politics. I had seen her on TV news in the late 60s, protesting when my father was a councilman at large and they took down the Confederate flag in the city council chambers. She kept on protesting after that. As I stood there, she began yelling profanities. "You got black blood," she finally snarled. "That explains it all." My friends were riveted. She stuck a hand in her purse. Someone yelled, "She's got a gun." They all scattered, leaving me to face what was to come. I had a shaky sense that she wouldn't shoot an unarmed Jesuit pre-freshman in cold blood. She pulled out a business card with her name, wrote on it, quote, "Your father is a nigger lover," close quote, and threw it at me. "He's sending the city to hell," she shouted, and then she bolted off. I was in a churn of confusion, but what I felt more than anything else was pity. I didn't think that she would hurt me. I could tell that she was challenged, not in full control, that in some awful way she was crippled by her beliefs. That night, I told my father what happened. "She's harmless," he said. I knew he had been dealing with people like her for some time. His optimism and upbeat politics registered on me in a calm, steady way. That encounter at school marked the first time I felt the hater's pain, the frustration and fury spilling out at things beyond her control. I've seen this expression of spirit throughout my life since then. Art and music engage the human heart and transcend time. Sadly, so does hatred. I learned this one early. When I announced in 2015 that we were going to take down 4 icons of the Confederate past, the front desk at City Hall logged a flood of calls from people burning with anger. The familiar hate was back. "He's ruining this city just like his father. He's gonna pay. He better watch out." And yet, other voices from the past come back to comfort me. "Say, baby, how's your daddy? Best mayor we ever had. Hey, young man, tell your mama hello. Ooh, love that woman." I cannot remember a time when the issue of race was not part of my life or our families. It's like a song that you cannot get out of your head. It keeps playing over and over. Race is a soundtrack that stays with me. New voices roll in. Hostility at one side, a benevolent approval, love, if you will, at the other. and a swirl of voices in the Middle Range hashing out what it means to be American, our common identity as citizens. I take heart that many white people have traveled far in their views on race. Many young people embrace diversity as a natural order of things, with no memory of a South governed by segregationists and white supremacists. And yet, today's public square teems with hatred of an intensity we haven't seen since the 1960s. The violence by white nationalists in Charlottesville, Virginia shows that hatred will grow if we do not shine the light of God's love and human reason on the darkness and chart a path of healing for our country as a whole. New Orleans mirrors a map of the world, a city where people of many countries have settled, shaping a beloved culture that has been enriched with jazz, Creole and Cajun cuisine, and so much more. We've shared culture across racial lines, but we've also played a seminal role in some of the saddest chapters in American history. More humans were sold into slavery in New Orleans than anywhere in the country. Hundreds of thousands of souls were sold here, then shipped up the Mississippi River to lives of forced labor, of misery, of rape, and of torture. As we entertain visitors from around the world along our beautiful riverfront, it is hard to fathom that at this very spot, ships emptied their human cargo from Senegal, marching their captives down the street to what is now one of our famous hotels. But there are no historical markers on that path, no monuments or flags to the lives destroyed. New Orleans is where Black Creoles launched a legal challenge to segregated public transportation, a case that led to 1896 Supreme Court decision Plessy v. Ferguson, which enshrined Jim Crow's separate but equal into law. In 1892, a mixed-race man named Homer Plessy attempted to board a whites-only train car, but was arrested because he was 1/8 black. 60 years later, freedom riders coming to New Orleans were beaten to a bloody pulp. Today, though, even as white identity politics rage, I take comfort that my city understands that diversity is our strength, greeting visitors with warmth and a cultural effervescence, even as we resolve to work hard to evolve and heal. We all have so far to go,